All right. Death Whirler, red-black aggro. So we had this happen to us on stream the other day, and it was awesome, and we immediately had a sub donate for us to try it. So Call of the Death Dweller here puts a Death Touch and a Menace counter on one of the creatures that you bring back. And Goblin Chainwhirler deals damage to everything they control. So if you call the Death Dweller back Goblin Chainwhirler, it's one-sided Plagued Wind plus deal a damage to my opponent. Off the Black Splash as well, we've also got Rix Maadi Reveler here to generate some card advantage in the mid to late game. It might even be right to play the full 4 of this. And then as some people are pointing out in chat, giving Death Touch to Fanatical Firebrand is often useful to bring it back as a hard removal spell. So let's go ahead and dive in here. People saying 1 week, the maternity leave in the US does suck. I don't know how it works for independent contractors in real first world countries, but in the third world country that is the United States, I don't have any sort of paid leave. So I appreciate the people that stay subbed and will remember to come and drop their Twitch Prime off while I'm gone for a week. That's a way you can support me and provide some paid leave for me. So if you are a sub and can afford to stay subbed while I am gone for a week or so, I appreciate it. This will actually be the longest concurrent time off I have taken since I started streaming full-time as a job. Previously, I have taken, I think it was 4 or 5 days off for Gen Con. But I've never taken an entire week off before since I started streaming as a job. Ether Wild, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to Hoaglandia. I don't expect to take much more than a week unless there's some kind of unpredictable complications. Like children when they're really small, they're kind of boring. Like they don't do much. Like the week or so off I'm going to take when the baby gets here is largely for Christie's recovery. Hey, Keck, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. And Rat for Q, thanks for upping for the 2nd month. Welcome back. Remember when I bottomed my 3rd land, chat? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Aether Wild, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Yeah, the biggest thing about new babies is that sleep will be at a bit of a low. Really unfortunate I didn't find a castable spell there. If I would have found a Lightning Strike for this forest, we'd be in this game in a big way. I think I'm just supposed to attack them to hope to draw burn spells to run them down. It's not even just making a child that she needs to recover from. The children are kind of destructive on their way out, not to be too graphically specific. Thanks for the biddies, Dougie. Wow, Zajad. Why would you put that mojo on us? Take a break. Come upstate for the summer. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, Land War Elves deck. I think I would like an extra copy of Shock. I think I'm going to trim one of the Death Dwellers so they're not likely to kill too much of our stuff. And the rest of these cards seem very good. Man, this is such an incredible take that talks about the state of the United States. It's wild seeing pictures of police officers wearing so much paramilitary gear that they look like RoboCops, while there are still doctors and hospitals wearing garbage bags for PPE. If that doesn't really summarize the fundamental problem with how money is spent in the United States, you know, just the amount of money that's pumped into things like the police while we're woefully underprepared for things like a pandemic. Who's getting shot at? The people protesting are the ones getting shot at. The journalists are the ones getting shot at. The U.S. should invade the U.S. and bring democracy. Yep. Oh, no. Oh, what a tilter. I think it was Maddie dug up, or probably found it from somewhere, and retweeted one of Trump's tweets about another nation jailing and not letting their press be free. And it's just like, there really is always a tweet, huh? Alright, this game's gonna be an easy runaway here with Goblin Chainwhirler. Whirly Boy's gonna kill the Paradise Druid, and then, get to smack him for a bunch here. Just good clean live in. Yeah, right, Jamison? In fact, there was an entire conservative movement in the United States based around praising and talking about the Boston Tea Party, right? Alright, they don't have a breeding pool here, so Torbran should be lethal next turn. They can block one of these and then take 6. Or take 8, sorry, actually. Faces the place. The comparison to the Tea Party isn't saying that the Tea Party was about police brutality. It's about pointing out the fact that protests and riots and the destruction of property have long been meaningful to instigating change when people are oppressed for whatever reason. That's why the comparison is apt. No reasonable person is saying they were about the same thing. This is fine. Gets to kill a land worlds on one. Needs to draw some lands here, which is like pretty good red aggro hand. Remember, at the core of this deck that we're playing is just like a red aggro deck with like a hat trick with the Death Dwellers. Another 2-drop here is actually a pretty reasonable draw. Means we get to go Pyromancer plus Firebrand on 3. Get to curb our mana. Is this the Minnesota thing? For people that haven't been keeping up with the US news, it's not just a Minnesota things. There were demonstrations in, I believe, 26 or more cities around the United States last night. It's an everywhere thing. Racism is not just a problem in Minneapolis. Is a land lethal? A land is lethal. A land lets us Torbran, which lets Firebrand kill this, and then these are 11. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. I think this is the line. I unfortunately can't kill Nissa. This does at least put them to 6. And I get like Hydroid Krasis and be sad. 2, 4, 7. So Krasis will gain 2. You could have killed Nissa if you would have pointed. That's a good observation. I don't know though. I kind of feel like I'm supposed to just like point all my damage upstairs. And I feel like missing on the land here is probably the death knell. If I would have hit the land this turn, we would have attacked them for 7. And then we would have had Shock plus Firebrand left over in our hand. Yes, I guess we're just doing this. I guess we're not just out of it yet. We get to shock their face here. And then they're going to 1. And I've got this. Okay. Oh, this card, chat. This card. What's the reason for the protest? An African-American man was murdered on camera by a member of the Minneapolis police force. And while that police officer has since been arrested, he was not arrested immediately. And they still have not arrested his accomplices, the other police officers who sat there and watched him murder this man on camera. And again, the only thing that's changed or different now is the fact that we have cameras, right? Like, awful things like that happen all of the time, and we're not fortunate enough to have them caught on camera. Correct. That was the thing that lit the match, but this has been a long time coming. Last night during the riots in Seattle, the police were told to turn off their body cameras. Oh yeah, that sounds like a very reasonable thing to do. That sounds like something that people acting in good faith would do.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Okay, Nissa hasn't been used yet, right? They miss on a land, so they can't escape Uro this turn. So if we hit a burn spell here, we could be okay. Pizza League, thanks to the 25 months. We had so many live draws there. So Firebrand was live, and this was live, and Shocks were live, and Pyromancers were live. It was a close set. We had a couple of turns there. If things would have broke slightly better for us, we would have pushed through, but this is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Turning off body cameras while on duty should be illegal. Yep. The mayor of St. Paul said every person they arrested last night was from out of state. That's the other thing. That's the other thing too. Is a lot of these, there are a lot of people who are rioting at these protests that are plants or are just don't care about it and are just there to stir up trouble because they know they can do it and try and get away with it. And sorting through those details is messy at best. Grixis Laturi. Alright, you have my attention. I think I'm just double Lava Runnering this turn. It's better against spot removal. We played a blue-red Laturi deck on stream a little bit back. That was actually pretty reasonable. This is incredibly unlikely to kill Cutthroat here. How does the baby delivery work in real life? Do you and Christy just rush to the hospital like in the movies? So, unless there's some kind of complication, like when the water breaks, you don't have to immediately go to the hospital. Usually within the next hour or so is when you need to get there. Like, for example, we're gonna need to wait for one of my buddies who lives in town to, like, come to our house to stay with Jake and Declan. Shout out to Andrew, who's been being super conservative with how much he's been leaving his home so he can come watch my children, despite of himself being a healthy 20-something who doesn't really need to. Namachill, thanks for the 52 months. That is an absurd duration for the very generous tier 3. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Instead here. Phoenix of Ash and Rekindling Phoenix. Sound great for resilient threats. Torbran's a little slow and clunky and probably is going to die to spot removal. Enter the God Eternals. Like, I know they had Enter the God Eternals, and, like, part of me wants to bring this in, but at the same time, it's like, well, they only have one of them, right? Is Rune Blaster good here? Maybe? I don't know. They had, like, one expensive card. I don't know how expensive, how big their curve really ends up getting. Like, they're playing all singletons, right? It's like, it's hard to really prepare too much. I don't want to, like, overboard either. Let's try this. Oh, good call. I should have looked at what they flipped over. Ferocidon does stop Enter from gaining life if they target it. The Ferocidon doesn't die until after Enter is done resolving. Would Fulminator Mage be too strong for Historic? No, I don't think so. That would be fine. I think Fulminator Mage is pretty comparable power level to Rune Blaster. Got a Witch Figure or an Optier? I mean, sure, like that's kind of a really wordy way to say what we've been talking about for forever, Percy, which is that, like, a core tenet of modern Magic design is that, like, mid-range hasn't really been playable. I think is a big part of the issues we've seen on a fundamental level with what, how Magic's been. It is that. That piece is talking about how there's no mid game. Is there a deck of the day? Yeah, the blue-red tempo deck was really good. I don't know, like, overarching things talking about how, like, Magic needs big changes. Like, there really aren't that many issues. Like, a lot of Magic's core designs are fine. There's a small number of things that missed. And again, as I've often been adamant of... The old fun of Cry of the Canarium. So here's the problem. Here's the problem with you're kind of doing the hashtag not all cops or whatever silence with that statement, I feel, silence. And the problem with that is if you have 10 corrupt racist cops and you have 1,000 police officers who tolerate and don't report the things that they do, you have 1,010 corrupt racist cops. Or more succinctly, if there's one Nazi sitting at a table eating dinner and 10 other people are having a conversation with them, you have a table with 11 Nazis sitting at it. This has Menace, so it gets to attack in here. They have to chump block my Goblin Chainwhirler, which is great with this draw. Oh, you know what? This is a mistake. I should let first strike damage happen before I deal my 1 point there. What does the acronym ACAB stand for? Oh, never mind. I got it. You don't need to type it out. I got it. I googled it. I'm surprised this game is this close after we got cried. I guess they were technically just into this too. Old Nadine Karakin. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Let's just run it back. Hope they don't have their one of cry at an opportune time this time through. Yeah, this looks fine. How's red black aggro, man? It's been okay. We haven't gotten to Chainwhirler combo anybody yet, but hopefully at some point. Diagonal Goblin, I choose you. What's the Chainwhirler combo? You bring it back with Call of the Death Dwellers and Plague Wind your opponent by putting the Death Touch counter on it. This gives the creature you bring back Death Touch and Menace. Real talk, is Firebrand better or worse than Mog Fanatic? Well, it has haste. It's different. Does best of one slot machine mean someone paid for you to do the open? Yes, best of one. That is exactly what it means. It means somebody else paid for me to gamble. See, perfect descriptive title. Someone slip me a 20 to get Godzilla lands. We're gonna lose 3 quick matches or 3 quick games with Knights. It'll be fine. What made me decide to play Runeterra? Wizards of the Coast making 100% of their constructed formats a lame duck for an entire week is what made me decide to try Runeterra. I wasn't intending to make time for other things, but the fact that Wizards decided to make us all wait a week to find out what was happening, combined with the fact that there was a bounty board post for Legends of Runeterra, means we're going to give it a try. So, in fact, speaking of, so what the bounty board is, if you're not familiar with, if you haven't heard me talk about it on Twitch before, there's basically a bulletin board where companies post their games and say, okay, we'll pay you X dollars if you stream our game to X viewers for an hour. So if you want a really easy way to support my content, hang out through the end of the stream today. I get a little bit extra of Riot's money if we have a higher viewer count for Legends of Runeterra. It's not even just the ban list. Croaky's on attempt number 4. Put those dollars in the machine. Let's go. So they gain 3 here. But then I get to bring my monkeys back? Go, go, gadget monkeys. Do, 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 do. Go, go, gadget monkeys. Do, 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 do. Beep, 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 do, do. Do, 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 do. Death Touch. What's this about Godzilla lands? If you enter the slot machine tournament and you get 0 game wins, you get all 5 Godzilla lands. So it's basically like someone donated for us to get Godzilla lands with a little bit of upside potential. I like that the lyrics were Inspector Gadget, but the tune was to Power Rangers. Yeah, I'm like the DJ you never knew you needed in your life. How many times can we put dollars in the slot machine for you to play? I don't know. That's a tough answer to that question. All right, let's make a system. If people hate their money and want to see me gamble, yeah, the first retry I'll do for another $20 tip, but every retry past the second, we're gonna add $10. Let's do that. So 20, then 20, then 30, then 40. It's a good system. I like money, chat. I like money. Me and a few of my president friends would like to persuade you to do a thing for us. Call it the diaper fund, right? How much to pick the deck you play as well? Oh gosh. It's a good question. For an extra 20, you can pick the deck I play. I'm playing Mardu Knights in the first one. Are you using reusables or Pampers? I don't hate myself or my washing machine enough to use reusable diapers. How much for dirt on Joe Biden? I knew Trump watched this stream. Fire up the slot machine. All right, 2x attempts. Thank you for the biddy sadness on the stack. What if we 7-0 the first time? Then I get to keep the extra money as profit. This is capitalism, chat. Come on now. Capitalism. Appropriate for things like dictating how a grown man on the internet plays a children's card game. Not appropriate for things like dictating who has access to life-saving medical care. Just so we understand where I stand on the whole capitalism thing. Gasboros Charm. Oh, yeah. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. We should get Monkey out ASAP so we can get it back with Death Touch for Winota. That's a good thought. Good thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get out of here. Alright, they missed the land drop last turn, so I'm just gonna hope they keep missing if they have Winota. Death Touch, Menace, kill you, attack you for 4. Did you know Winota summons are indestructible? They are in fact indestructible. Yeah, Call's been fine. It comes at a pretty low cost. I'm kind of sad we haven't had a chance to see Rix Maadi do anything yet. Lots of states have varying degrees of different gun laws, Jopsy. So this has to attack. Go to 12. Ooh, speaking of Rix Maadi. Early Boy would have been very good there. You're not wrong. Hey, friend. Shock and Redcap Melee sound great. Torbran sounds not so great. I feel like... trim these. Sounds good, sounds good. Alright, I think if they play a Legion War Boss here, we're killing it. Interesting. Red is a little ambitious, but that seems like a sweet card for their archetype. Yeah, I like it too. I'm into it. I can dig it. Do I Rix Maadi to try and hit a land here? I think the answer is yes. That was a misclick, but it doesn't really matter because I have this. I think that attack was just a misclick. Feels like, this attack feels like Bone Crusher Giant. So we'll elect to pump the brakes. It's a real shame this didn't roll 3. Real shame this didn't roll 3. Cousin Vin, thanks for the 30 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think we're dead here. I just can't race this. Let's take the next game on the play. The Nick Miller tweet is excellent. That is why I retweeted it. How do I modify my Mardu Knights deck for best of one, chat? I didn't put any thought into agreeing to play this best of one thing. So what are we doing? How do we best of one? Yeah, we can play some dire tactics. It's gonna be all Winota. Is that real? I feel like that's probably not real. I mean, the Knights deck was already pretty linear. It's best of one standard. Brick, 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 brick. Dead. Got it. Well, I guess we could do that. I guess I have another one for her. I think we're still dead though, right? Gato Gelato. Croaky's won 40 consecutive games with Winota and best of one, so people are probably... Well, he hasn't. He's on his 3rd or 4th try, someone said in the event. So, like, again, playing on the ladder is very different than playing in tournaments. Three. Nick Miller's response to him is good. You were playing a bunch of guild games and trying to play 5 colors. You have a best of one Knight stack. Ship it. Oh. No, I'm going to play Mardu Knights. And this deck is 61 cards. No, wait. Is this Mardu Knights? This website is awful. Where is the actual deck list? Yeah, that website's real bad. Squirrel 6 inch. I don't understand why. Like, why do these websites try to reinvent the wheel in terms of displaying deck lists? Like, what is wrong You know, like 80% of your screen. But yeah, for people that don't see it, this is the deck list site someone just linked me. This is the deck list here. Why is 80% of my screen this random pile of like cards to search through to add to the deck editor? Like who designed this? Like that's god awful. What's going on here? We're shocking this. We're playing a Pyromancer here. Artifact was an incredible piece of software. You think it's mirroring the deck editor at MTGA? Lukewarm take. I don't trust anybody who builds decks or sideboards and isn't looking at their pile view. In fact, I would argue you are worse at sideboarding if you're not using that pile view. Being able to visualize your curve graphically is really important to building decks well. You'll be much better at sideboarding intelligently if you can visualize your curve while you do it. This right here, being able, like, boarding like this, you can't tell at a glance what you're doing. Being able to see what your deck is doing and know that, like, okay, I'm pulling my curve up too high or that's a bad choice, etc. is really important. Being able to see what your deck looks like after you've made changes will make you better at sideboarding in a way that makes sense. Thanks for the 10 months, Sam. I appreciate that. How much money to force you to sideboard vertically for one deck? That's great. Democracy in action. Alright, so anyways, back to building a best of one deck. If I'm gonna play Mardu Knights, I should play 4 main deck Dire Tactics, right? That's the answer. I should play 4 Doomblades. The deck to beat is cycling. Chat seems to think the deck to beat is Winota. I think I'm supposed to ditch a Redcap Melee here. If I get greedy and ditch the land and then miss my third land, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. I need 4 main deck Cage. Whirly boy up in your base, shooting rockets in your face. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, here's the real question, though. So people paid me to play the slot machine today. If we qualify for the thing tomorrow, am I obligated to play it? Is that a real question? Was that implied? Was that implied? What are spells? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hey. Yes, Runeterra, Legends of Runeterra that we're going to wrap up with today is a bounty board post. Moments before the accident. Man, leaving your Thalias in against the Goblin Chainwhirler deck. Lessons learned, chat. Lessons learned. We're giving people an education here on this stream. Giving people an education. We don't need no education. Chainwhirler, leave my elves alone. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright, we're gonna play one more with red-black aggro, and then we're gonna queue up and play some slot machine matches, okay? But changed my mind about trying Riot's game. Wizards of the Coast decided to lame duck 100% of their constructed formats for some god-awful reason. This person is very close to making the top 1200, so I'm going to concede to them. We're going to play another match. I will not be hitting the top 1200 this season. I stand to gain nothing by beating them. They're obviously on the grind. But it's top 12. And top 1200 qualifies you to play in an arena tournament next month, I believe. Anybody that's out of the percentages, I'm going to concede to for the next 2 days. No, there's no point in me taking prizes away from someone that could be working towards them. When does the season end? Tomorrow afternoon, I believe. Oh. Come on, give me a land. Give me a land. Give me a land. Come on, deck. Just one land, deck. I believe in you. What did Wizards do to Historic? They announced that there will be a ban list update for Historic on Monday, and they are going to be changing how companions work on Monday. And the fact that they're going to be changing how companions work means every format is currently a lame duck. Maybe I'm supposed to wait and save that to pair with this to kill a bird next turn. Yeah, they told us they plan to make sweeping changes and didn't give us any details about what those changes are going to be. Come on, land! Come on, land! This is where the magic happens, chat. This is where the magic happens. That's true. That's true. We are just going to get further value by them playing out more creatures. Oh, come on! Give me a land! Give me a land! Come on, deck! Come on! This is all I want to do! All I want to do is Plague Wind one time. Come on! Come on! Does anything embody Magic more than moments like this? We've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that cost 3 or more mana, and there are a total of 11 cards that cost 3 or more mana in this deck. Winota, kill you. Just a Kenrith. Alright. Alright, just a Kenrith. Come on. One more turn, chat. It's all we've got. All we've got is one more turn. So one last shot. It's a chance to roll. Opportunity comes once in a match time. You better lose yourself in the Death Dwellers. The Chainwhirler never gonna ever let you roll. Come on! God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land. I'm done. Let's go play best of one. So we just got incredibly unlucky there. So I feel like we've stored up our cumulative variance and we're ready to just pound this best of one event. As far as this deck is concerned, I don't know, this seemed fine. Like, I feel like a lot of the matches we lost were like pretty unlucky. This deck's we're even playing more lands than a lot of red aggro decks do. We've got Rix Maadi to like smooth our draws a little bit. Yeah, I don't have much to say. It's basically red aggro with a little bit of addition. I think it's fine. I think if you're looking for red aggro with a twist, it's reasonable. All right, I'm gonna hit a quick ad roll, and I'm gonna think about this this best of one deck. We'll be back in just a few minutes with your favorite Magic Arena gambling. Be back in a few.